I'm in training. Okay, so I'm going to just affirm this out loud. This is the last week I get to say I'm new. Is that okay with you? Okay, so we'll just, now that we cleared that, I would like to say welcome to Unity of Santa Barbara, a spiritual community center. Can you feel it? Yes. And what I know is we came here as we are, but yet we will leave here differently. We will leave here differently. Are you in agreement with that? Because we certainly have been blessed by just amazing people today to allow us the opportunity to do that. But the most important thing for that to happen is, do you know what that is? Community. There's one person here. Do you know? Community. It's you. I'm just playing with you. It's we must make the decision to do that. It's our decision. The space, the teachers, the healers, the music, the energy, the love, your friends. we can all collectively come together and choose to allow ourselves to be made anew, to resurrect. And yet, it's our decision. Yes? I make a decision to be open today. Can you join me with that? I make a decision to be open today. Turn to your friend or your neighbor and say, I make a decision to be open today. I make a decision to be open today. Okay. Please join us because we have the amazing Sharon back. Please, everybody stand up for God and let's do a song. I think you know this one. Thank you.
Oh, this great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, this big heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, this big heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This bright spirit of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, this bright spirit of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright spirit of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, all around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah, this great light of mine, come on, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, yeah, this great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this great light of mine, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, yes, oh, yes.
I'm going to ask you to continue standing. Yes, as we take this energy into prayer. And is Sharon like the most amazing or what? And the band? Woody? Thank you, Woody. All right, let's just bring this energy into prayer because we have already created an intention that something is happening here today, and we have made a decision for it to happen. And so we surrender our mind and we allow our hearts to be open right here and right now. We affirm that the mind continues to create what it has known, whereas the heart allows for the mystery and the mystical of life. And we let this be so today with our beloved community in a place that we are safe, in a place where we know we belong. We let go of time and clocks and boxes and rigidity. And we allow the Great Spirit, precious God, to reveal itself by the nature of who we are and what we are in our becomingness. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. Bless you. Yes. And so we welcome all of you today, and we're so delighted that you are here. And of all the places, we really appreciate you. Of all the places you could be today, you are here. You've chosen to be here and have an experience with us. Very, very grateful. We also want to welcome our online guests today. If you would please leave comments, preferably nice ones, about our community and things you would like to see and experience. So we would love to have more activity with you. We have some guests with us today, and I want to highlight my long-term publicist friend, the beloved Steve Allen. Would you please stand with your wife, Mara, please? And if you'll bring a flower, if we can bring a flower. And I just want to have you thank Steve and his wife Mara, because they bring talent to us once a month. And today we have the beloved Judy Wilkins-Smith. That is one of his clients, and she's doing an incredible workshop. And I'll talk about her later, but she gets a flower too. So Judy, would you please stand? And if you are with us for the first time, would you please join Judy and stand? Or if you're back for the first time in a while, you can stand and get you a flower. We have a beloved friend right here. We're so glad she's back with us. And we're so grateful to our ushers and all that you do. Yes. And I think Jack could have his own flower too, I'm just saying. But we're very grateful that you're here. Something amazing and wonderful and incredible is happening here. Yes? Something amazing and incredible is happening here. And if you sign up at the welcome table with Peggy, then you can get mala beads, which are wonderful. We need to sign up there, Kathy. I want some of those. We have a prayer box, because part of fundamentality of unity is the transformation through the power of affirmative prayer. And we have a prayer chaplain available after the service today, and that is, she's going to meet you at the Fountain of Change. The Fountain of Change. So our beloved chaplain on service today would be B.B. Bertuzzi. Well, there's a saying that says, I think I said this in March, the secret to leadership is to find a group of people that are going somewhere and run and catch up with them and stand beside them and say, those are my people. We are collectively together. Right? Well, remember last week we said that we are in the process of creating a bookstore, right? And you were happy. Everybody clapped, got excited. Okay, well, what if I told you that I came by on Thursday to do something else? The team, Gary and Peggy, had already created the bookstore. And what if I told you that Patricia Folk then did the last stuff? And what if I told you that today, May 22nd, Shirley Campbell's birthday, what if I told you that we now officially, we have a bookstore at Unity of Santa Barbara? And I think that is a standing ovation. Hello. I mean, that is to the dedication of this team, of Peggy, of Gary, of Patricia. And you can go shopping there right after service. Our flower dedication is by Jackie Kennedy for May birthdays. It's Claudia's birthday as well today. And our designer is Ingrid Smith May. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce, who doesn't need one, Dr. Jim Kwako, who's doing the Daily Word. Thank you.
The daily word for today is forgive. The affirmation is, I begin my journey of forgiveness. Unforgiveness is a heavy bag of rocks that I carry on my shoulders. When I drop the bag and begin to set the rocks aside one by one, I embark upon a healing journey. God is with and within me on this journey as my constant support and strength. When forgiveness feels difficult, I need only return my attention to Spirit's constant loving and accepting presence within me. Reestablishing my conscious connection brings warm and welcoming acceptance. It's an important step in the unburdening process of forgiveness. I forgive others, and I forgive myself. Knowing each act of forgiveness increases freedom to live a happy and fulfilling life. And from Colossians, bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against anyone else, forgive each other. Just as the Lord has forgiven you, you must forgive others.
You know, many years ago in the 70s and 80s, we all had the bumper sticker, change your thinking and change your life. Change your thinking, change your life. Probably like many of you, I noted that when I change my thinking, and still do, there's a uprise in things shifting, yes? And then what I discovered is that sometimes then such things would come back in a different body, a different person. Sometimes they were cuter or an experience, but something would come back. So then for me, the evolution was change your energy and your life will change. Change your energy and your life will change. And yet, in our years of scientific study and spirituality, what we've come to understand is that the very things that we can get to, we got it. Yes? And yet, there's a part of our energetic field that we are also living in multidimensional reality. And that being said, we cannot often get to something. How many of you always just want to feel better, yes? And you want to achieve or you want to express, yes? So it's not that we're not willing. It's just there's times on an energetic, unconscious level, we cannot find that. And so today we are so blessed to have this afternoon Judy Wilkins Smith. And she comes to us from a long ways, and she is a gift, she is a light, and she works with your DNA, your generational DNA. And she is going to play a part. I can't wait for this workshop. I am so excited about it. So welcome, Judy Wilkins Smith.
And thank you, Reverend Temple Hayes. You make a bit of a full circle for me. I was sharing with your wife that when I started this, it was in a little Unity church in itty-bitty Tyler, Texas. Yeah, so it's nice to be home again. I think a couple of things. We hear so often the sins of the fathers will get visited upon the children. And in the work that I do, it's the promise of the children will carry us forward. And you are those children. How many of you know about Ancestry, look at your Ancestry, are aware of Ancestry.com out there? Hands up. Okay, so you all know about Ancestry 1.0. The work that I do is Ancestry 2.0. And Ancestry 2.0 takes you into a very different space through the door. It has a look at things like, why am I always sad, mad? You said, we're looking for better. That's really important. What we're doing is we're saying, there are patterns in my family that I hold sacredly as though they were mine. And the reason I do is because it is my job to rest that pattern and to find the pattern that's trying to emerge through me. You're writing the chapter that only you can write. So what if I were to show you that you can actually see those patterns and you can change those patterns in 3D? Because that's what we're going to do this afternoon. You're actually, for the first time, going to be able to see what the pattern is, where it came from, what its effect is on you, but most important, and even in the middle of a train wreck, what is the gift of that train wreck? It isn't a train wreck. It's telling you your box is too too small. It's time to grow. And for any of you, I'm sure you've met the universe, who has a really good sense of humor, God, the guides, the universe. It tries very elegantly to say to you, it's time to move. And you go, yes, but. Yes, but. And then it says, well, it's really time you moved, until it evicts you up with an almighty kick. This is a different opportunity. It's the opportunity to understand that you are a limitless being. I ask every client I work with, whether it's a corporate client or a private client, how big are you willing to be? Because the day that you agree to be big is the humblest day of your life. It is the first time that you agree to be responsible for growing a life all the way, and for being an open vessel for what can come to you and through you. You're also going to learn that in the world of systemic work and constellations, wanting is really important. We're all raised to believe that we should suffer, we're small, we're insignificant. I hope here that's not the case. I'm sure it isn't. But how much are we capable of when we say yes? This morning you said, are you willing to be open? The way through that door to genealogy 2.0 and to finding your purpose, which by the way is always in front of you, sitting right next to your struggle, is to be willing. If you're willing to look and you commit to the journey, it doesn't matter what you want or agree to, you will get there. Not maybe. You will get there. Yeah? When I work with people, as we're going to work this afternoon, and believe me, there's going to be as much laughter as there may be a couple of tears. I hope we've got Kleenex, just in case. But this is a fun journey. You're going to discover that you are on a life's adventure. It was always waiting for you. The universe has always been in service of you, and it always will be. You just have to be willing to look. So I look forward to playing with you later on today, and we're going to have a good time together.
Well, thank you, Judy. This week has continued to be a week of many surprises. And now we have one with you, for you, with our beloved Forrest Lightberg. Please give him a hand. He wrote that when he was 13 years old. Wow, I know, right? Yes, what a blessing. Please welcome Sharon Hendrix and our Unity Band.
I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need now. Oh, I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I allow and I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need now.
Words back on the screen. Let's all just feel that. Just put your hand on your heart and let's just all join Sharon. And as you're singing, allow those words to permeate your spirit.
I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need now.
And now all the women, let's go. All the women, we can do this. We're having an experience today. Here we go. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need now. And now our beautiful men. Here we go.
Yes, I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need now.
and coming from the consciousness of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We can feel the cells literally changing as they come to us with no memory. We are made anew in the spirit of life, to a presence, to an essence that is all loving, that is all knowing, that is consciousness. We allow.
I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need now.
And so it is.
Secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Any fool can do it. There ain't nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. Since we're all on our way down, we might as well enjoy the ride. The secret of love is in opening up your heart. It's okay to feel afraid, but don't let it stand in your way. Everyone knows that love is the only way. Since we're only here for a while, we might as well show some style. Give us a smile, isn't that a lovely ride? Oh, gliding down, sliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. Now the thing about time is that time isn't really real. It's all on your point of view. Oh, how does it feel to you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. Planets spinning through space, the smile upon your face. Welcome to the human race. Isn't this a lovely try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. Oh, isn't this a lovely ride? See me gliding down, sliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. Now the secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
Have you ever had one of those tunes that you just know, and you're singing it all the time? But that was the first time I heard that song. That song I've been singing for I don't know how many years, and I actually heard it. So thank you from your soul to mine. I really got it. Thank you. It was amazing. Well, I would like to begin by telling you a true story about a part of my family that I love and adore so very much. Her name is Flo, and this is her picture. There she is. And here's her story. My husband and I, we live in Ojai in a little neighborhood that's kind of hidden, and it's surrounded by a preserve, and you actually have to go through another neighborhood in order to get to ours. And in that neighborhood, for a couple of years, we would pass that RV in front of one of the houses thinking, oh, how beautiful is she? And we felt sorry for her because she was never driven. She would just sit on the street and watch people and dogs and bicycles and cars go by. And so one Thursday, late afternoon, January 2021, I was walking the dogs. And I passed her and I said to the universe, if this owner ever wants to sell this RV, I want it. I let it go. I wasn't obsessing over it. It wasn't like I had to have her. I just completely let it go. In fact, I kind of forgot about it. The next evening, on a Friday, Steve and I, this story has a lot about walking the dogs, just to forewarn you. Steve and I are walking the dogs, and the owner of the RV just happens to be inside. And it was the first time that we ever saw any life in this RV. So Steve peeks in, starts a conversation with the owner, and he asks, how do you like this RV? And the owner, we call him RV Bob, said, we love this vehicle, but my eyesight hasn't been very good lately, so we decided just today to sell her. And I'm thinking, wow, I just made that request last night. This is how quick the universe can happen. And immediately we said, oh, we're interested. Can we bring a mechanic by tomorrow? So the next day, Saturday, the mechanic and Steve are, doing all the things that they do. They open up the hood, they kick the tires, they're doing all the manly stuff that has to do with the RV. And I'm sitting up front in the passenger seat with my two dogs on my lap, and RV Bob is sitting in the driver's seat. And RV Bob and I were just chatting away when my dog, Father Frank, starts to growl at something in the yard. And I said, Bob, stop that right now. You see, I used to have a dog by the name of Bob. His name was Reverend Bob, and his last name was Barker. Not a good thing to name a dog, let me just say that, Bob Barker. But for some reason, I blurted that out. It just came out of my mouth. And RV Bob looked at me kind of strange. And he said, and I said, oh, my dog in the past that I had some time ago was named Bob. I don't mean to reprimand you. So we ended up purchasing the RV at the exact price that we wanted to pay. Hardly any miles, smelled brand new, features that had never been used. It was a true example of how the universe organizes itself in your favor when you are not attached to the outcome. Now here's the story within the story. 2 weeks later, something was going on in my life with my business at the time, and I was feeling pretty low. I asked the universe, give me a sign, any sign, just to show me that all is well, that you've got this handled. So I'm walking the dogs. And we're out in this field, and RV Bob and his wife Carol are there, and RV Bob yells over to me, hey, Kathy, I want you to meet my wife. She has a story to tell you. She comes over to me and she says, in 2011, Bob and I were at Meditation Mount. Some of you might know that up in Ojai. And we were wondering whether or not to move here to Ojai from the East Coast, or to Ojai, and we started a conversation with this one woman and her dog, Bob. And we talked for over an hour, and I looked at her and I said, oh my God, I remember you. I remember leaving your presence that day thinking, why didn't I get their information? They're my new best friends. I love them. But by the time I decided to turn around and get their information, they had already left. She said, yes, it was the same for us. Since we moved here in Ojai, we have been looking for you since 2012. When you called your dog Bob the other day, my husband Bob came inside the house and said, I think we finally found her. We hugged, we kissed, we have become so very dear friends, and I adore Bob and Carol, and I'm so grateful that they're back in my life, and that is why we named our RV Flow. Being in the flow of life, my friends, is very, very magical. The moral of the story actually is for you to adopt a dog and walk it every day. You never know where you're going to be. Isn't that right? We're dog lovers. Now, I wanted to tell you about RV Flow because what I know for sure is trusting in the synchronicity of life will put you exactly where you need to be to supply you with precisely what you need when you need it. If I had overanalyzed, well, having an RV would be nice, but where would we keep it? And it's probably out of our price range. How much would the insurance be? The gas prices are so high. How will I even get time off to use it? Blah, 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 blah. You know that conversation that we have. And if we are constantly having to know the how, the what, the why, then you get out of the flow. You spend all of your energy pushing the very thing that you want away. So it's about releasing all of the reasons of why not you can have what you want. You know, all the nots. I cannot have this, and this will not happen. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. It's the not. So living in the flow is releasing all of that, and it means being in the synchronicity of life. So what is synchronicity, and what does it have to do with your life? Well, many religions call it a state of grace. But let's dissect this for a moment. The word synchronicity comes from chronos, which means time. Chronos means synchronized time. And it means the same with coincidence, co-ministers, coincidence, many incidences happening and coming together in time, space, reality. We have all of us have experienced coincidences, and those coincidences are arrangements of so-called improbabilities, where improbable events come together and they're synchronized in time. And it usually has to do with intention, consciously or unconsciously. And many times our intentions aren't always good intentions, right? You have an intention, you feel as if it is done, then you let it go. Let it go. Let the organizing principle of the universe bring you your desired intention or something better, no attachments. So here's another true story. It's one of my favorite stories that happened many years ago when I had my church in Denver, Colorado. It's a story of this one woman, and I don't remember her name, so we're just going to call her Anna, who for some years she had been in a state of sadness, of depression. She had a broken heart, and it prevented her from participating in her life. Anna's idea of a good time was staying at home and being in the company of her dog. She wanted to date. She wanted to get involved with life. So she did her vision board. She did her affirmations. She prayed. She did all the things that New Thought students do. But nothing was happening. And this is why. She didn't let go of her sadness. She didn't let go of her resentment. She didn't let go of the knots or of her story of woe is me, the past relationship did me wrong. Her victim story had a stronger frequency than any of the principles that we teach here every Sunday. And so her life was kind of marinating, if you will, in that resistant energy. She remained sad. She remained depressed. And then one night, and this is what I love about breakdowns, because breakdowns are breakthrough. So she had a complete breakdown and realized that this was no way that she wanted to live. She didn't want this way of living anymore. So she needed to let go of the story and let a higher power, let God do its miraculous things. And she did something that I absolutely love. She completely let go of resistance, all the knots, and used a unity prayer. And we're going to use this I'm going to have Penny have it on the screen at the end of the service. If you want to take a picture of it, you can do that or write it down, because it really is a magnificent, wonderful prayer. And it goes like this: Universe, you know what I want. Give it to me in the path of least resistance. Give it to me in a way I can get it. And then she went on to say, I trust you, I let go. And then she decided that instead of resisting, she was going to become a cooperative component. So this is what happened. You see, several months earlier, before this time, an acquaintance at the church gave her the name and email of an email address of a man whom this church acquaintance said, I think this would be a good match for you. So she didn't do anything with it for months. But that night, Anna decided to send an email to this man, of which she got a quick response. And the emails went back and forth, and then they exchanged phone numbers. They got on the phone. Now they're talking for hours. And she asked, well, tell me, where do you live in Denver? He said, 17th and Dahlia. She said, I live at 17th and Dahlia. Really, what building? 4670. He said, I live at 4670. What apartment number? I live at 12. I live at 13. They lived right next door to each other. Arrangements of improbability. When you're in the flow, nothing makes sense. So they walked outside their apartments. They met each other. Their first date was in the hallway. After a year, they decided to get married, and they've been happily married ever since. So that's over 20 years ago. You see, when you are in resistance, you can't see what's right in front of you. When you are thinking about all the reasons and trying to bring logic, trying to figure out the solutions, the how is this going to happen, the universe cannot arrange the miraculous. I saw something the other day. It was a T-shirt this guy had on, and it said, "Trust me, I know what I'm doing, the universe." So I thought we'd get them at the bookstore. Done. So when you trust and when you let go and become a cooperative component, you can see how the universe meticulously places people, situations, and events in your path for your highest good. Do you see that when you trust the synchronicity of life, that you do not have to force anything to happen? You do not need to make anything happen in any way, shape, or form. You do not have to manipulate or micromanage. Higher mind, the universe, knows what the physical mind cannot realize. It knows all the hows. If you say you want to live in the fourth or even fifth dimensional reality, then you must give up the things that are conforming to the third dimensional world. And what I mean by that is that the third dimensional world deals with fear, anxiety, scarcity, negativity, gossip, always needing to know the hows, have logical readings or reasons. And this is where we stop great things coming to us because we logic them to death. We detail them to death. We look for a chain of reasonable connections. And what I know in the higher dimension with higher mind is there is no logic and there is no reasoning at all. There's just higher logic. The logic that comes from standing at the mountaintop where you can see the entire valley, the entire network, and where it makes sense from the higher mind, from the mountaintop, where the higher mind goes, you know, if you just go back one exit and then turn left, you're going to get there a little bit more quickly than if you just go directly ahead. Whereas down in the valley, the little self, in the third dimension, it says, how can that be? Everyone knows the best way is in a straight line. Why, how, what if, what is the reasoning behind that? There's no logic to that. I'm doing it my way. I'm going straight. And the higher mind goes, oh, brother, because I can see that if you go forward, the bridge is out. That if you go forward, there's this cute little shop that you might find some cute things at, and there's someone there that will change the way that you do your life. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. My friends, if you can, forget the third dimensional way of thinking. And I get it. We live in a third dimensional world on this planet Earth, right? Planet Earth is the master class. So if you can and trust that God has got your back, what will happen is magical things on an everyday basis. Now, sometimes things may not look good. And things just when that happens, things need to shift in order to bring you something greater, something better. My personal theme that keeps me in alignment with this is that this may not look good, but there is good in it. Let's say that together. This may not look good, but there is good in it. So I want to tell you another true story. Someone who lives by divine alignment with this very truth, and she lives in synchronicity no matter where she is. In the 1980s, Susan Piver, who was in her late 20s at the time, she had never gone to college and was a little lost. Like, I didn't go to college. I don't know what to do with my life. But she knew that the universe was always conspiring in her favor. And by the way, it's the same for you. The universe is always conspiring in your favor. So one day, she's on a road trip, driving through Austin, Texas, when her car broke down right in front of a bar. She didn't have the money to fix her car. So this is where it would have been good to say, it may not look good, but there's good in it. Remember, she always has been one to live in the knowing that the universe is conspiring in her favor. Therefore, she followed her inner guidance, and she went into the bar and asked for a job, and she was hired right on the spot. What she didn't realize was that this wasn't just any bar. This was an amazing blues bar where famous musical artists from all over the country would come to play their music. So after a few weeks of working there, the owner of the club went to prison, and she found that she was running the club. Little did she know at the time that the universe was orchestrating something great for her, and she was this cooperative component. She quickly learned all about the music industry, and one day a record producer comes in and offers her a job with his record industry. She took him up on the offer, and from there she became very well known and made a pretty big splash in the music industry. In the year 2000, she decided to make a radical change. She left the music industry. She was getting married. And at the time, she realized that there's a difference between loving someone and loving your life together. So Susan had loved men in the past, but she didn't love their life together. So she began to ask questions about partnerships and writing them down. Questions such as, where will we live? Do we have joint checking accounts or separate accounts? How are you with money? How's your way of being clean in the house? I mean, these are all little things, but you got to know about them. She came up with 100 questions, and she showed a friend who said, this is great. This would make a great book. Serendipitously, the next day she happened to be introduced to a book agent who thought it would be a great book, and the next thing she knew, it was published. The book is called The Hard Questions, 100 Questions to Ask Before You Say I Do. Shortly after it was published, she gets a call from Oprah Winfrey, and she appeared on Oprah, and her book became an overnight success. It became a New York Times bestseller. You see, Susan lives her life as if she is always in the right place at the right time. She's a cooperative component to her absolute good. She knows that living in divine alignment with God, with the universe, means that everything is conspiring in her favor. Now, I tell you that story because there are some ingredients, if you will, of being a master of synchronicity. And it is so easy to harness the power of this phenomenon. The first ingredient is acceptance. If you have a challenge, whatever might be going on, it just means you're being moved to something greater. So you have to accept the way things are before you move forward. Susan accepted that the car was broken down, and she accepted that she didn't have the money to pay for it because it may not look good, but there's good in it. You can't move forward if you're not in acceptance. Have you ever noticed that when you are in resistance to what is, when you're complaining, when you're whining, when you're being the victim to circumstances, the answer to your problems don't come to you very easily? Resistance, my friends, is a very slow road to get you to where you want to be. Acceptance. Number 2, the second step in becoming a master of synchronicity, and the cornerstone of the entire process, is to decide what it is that you want. Become a vibrational match to it. Remember, the universe is always matching your energy. And then let it go. Without attachment to the outcome, just let it go. And when you let it go, just don't overanalyze or try to figure out how it's going to come to you. Just trust that you will always be in the right place at the right time, and that God is always working in your favor. So just close your eyes for one moment, and we're going to just take a moment and resonate. What is it that you want? Is it to be happy, joyful, peaceful? Is it to have an RV? Is it to, whatever it is, see it as already done. And we say, universe, you know what I want. Give it to me in the path of least resistance. Give it to me in any way I can get it. And now we let it go. And for that, we say, Amen. And so it is. And so this is the time in our service where we take up our tithes and offerings. I believe we do. I'm just... As you can tell, we every week we're trying to hone in how this service flows, and you're going to find that every month, just about every month, it's going to change again, and because Spirit's in charge. So just to let you know, there's many ways to give, and there are ways on our website as far as Givelify. We have that. We also have out in our volunteer table, Russ will be here. He's really good at taking your money. Oh, right, I believe. He doesn't, oh, okay, Kathleen, well, somebody's going to take your money. We have a little smart, or is it called a smart? Square, and it's smart too. It'll take your credit card. So if you don't have cash today or your checkbook, just know that your donations, we have many ways to take your donations. And we're most grateful to each one of you. Each one of you here have been so generous, and we just want to thank you for your continued generosity as we continue to grow. So let us take our affirmation. Unity of Santa Barbara is a spiritual community which touches hearts, awakens souls, and builds dreams. And then we take our blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share. And just insert and my love. Just insert a blessing, if you will, in your gift, and know that it comes back to you 1,000-fold. And so, dear God, I give thanks for these gifts and the givers. And I ask that you bless each of the givers here today. And as each one of them have given from a heart of kindness and generosity, I ask that it come back to them 1,000-fold and even more in return. And for this, we do give thanks. Amen.
So blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am am so grateful. I am so blessed. Put your hands together, stand, and ease on down this road. Come on and ease on down the road. Come on, ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Come on, ease on down the road. Come on, ease on down the road. Come on and ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Come on, ease on down the road. Pick your left foot up when your right foot's down. Come on, let's keep moving. Don't you lose no ground. You just keep on keeping on the road that you choose. Don't you give up walking 'cause you gave up shoes. Yeah, ease on down the road. Come on, ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Come on, ease on down the road. 'Cause there may be times when you think you lost your mind, and the steps you're taking leave you 3-4 steps behind. But the road you're walking may be long sometimes. You just keep on stepping and you'll be just fine. Yeah, ease on down the road. Come on, ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Come on, ease on down the. Yay! Woo! Well, there may be times when you wish you wasn't born, and you wake one morning just to find your courage gone. But you know that feeling only lasts a little while. You just stick with us and we'll show you how to smile. Get 'em up, going down. Ease on down, get 'em up, going down. Ease on down, get 'em up, going down. Ease on down, get 'em up, get 'em up, get 'em up. Ease on down. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Come on, ease on down the road.
So I have some announcements for you today. First announcement, again, I want to remind you that we have chairs and tables set up outside. You can mingle, you can mix, you can commune with one another and just have a good time. We have snacks out there, so please enjoy yourselves. As well as our workshop today, doors open at 11:30. The workshop begins at noon. We were going to have it in the chapel, but we are going to move it in here now because there are so many people that I don't even know if we have enough chairs in the chapel now. Now, if you'd like food, we do have food available for those attending the event. It's $14 for food and a suggested starting donation of $15 for the workshop. So we'll see you there with Judy Wilkins-Smith. I also want to remind you we have overhauled and upgraded our entire rentals program. Now, if you have an event you would like to host, or you know someone who'd like to host an event, we do have a referral program. And so please contact me at Forrest with 2 R's, FORREST, at unitysb.org. And I want to thank everybody who was involved with renovating the facilities over the years that turned this venue into a very attractive event center. So a new update is our chaplain will actually be out by the fountain over there. So you go outside these doors, you turn right, and on the grass, BB will be there, and our prayer box will also be there as well for you. On June 3rd, there's a benefit concert for Ukraine that Noreen and the Unity Singers are hosting. It will take place at 7 p.m. at the First Ukrainian Evangelical Baptist Church. It's called Songs of Prayer and Praise, and it features Prissy Barber as vocalist, Jackie Greenshields on cello, Genia Work on violin, and Noreen Brockie on piano. All donations go directly to humanitarian aid for Ukrainian crisis. You can actually see more information about that in our newsletters, and we absolutely welcome you there. I think there's going to be some beautiful music. I saw the lineup, personally, some of my favorite, most beautiful music, so please, you're very welcome to join. If you'd like to honor a person, pet, place, or life event with a flower dedication, please contact Peggy at unitysb.org, and she will be at the welcome table right outside these windows as well today. Of course, you are aware that we're reviving the bookstore. Books are available and on sale right now as we speak, right over there, so please enjoy yourselves, and absolutely. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for volunteers to help break down tables on Sundays. We're looking for snack angels to help donate food after the services. And again, Peggy is the one to speak with. She's at the welcome table right outside these windows here. Office hours, just as a reminder, we have office hours again, and they are 11 to 3 from Tuesdays to Thursdays each week. And the chapel, the Shirley Campbell Chapel, will be open during those times as well. So you're welcome to stop by. And lastly, for any other announcements we have, if you want to keep up to date on an ongoing basis, you can go to our website and sign up for our newsletter. And we absolutely welcome you to our community. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you soon outside.
You leave for a vacation, and then it's like, what's next? So with that, let us now stand and sing our peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, and we all are free. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And join me, if you will, in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is.